Hi everyone, welcome back to Bar with Sarah. I'm Sarah, and today I'm back again with another short set of modifications for Jump with Sarah. So as a reminder, this is the rebounding bar class. It's going to be launching next Thursday, May 21st at 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Standard Time. So I covered some modifications in my other video, but there are going to be a couple specific exercises that we'll be doing in the beginner classes that I wanted to let you know about. So let's start off with the bouncing. I covered this before, but it's worth talking about again. So here's my rebounder. And for the warm-up portions and for between sets, we're going to be doing some bouncing. Obviously, this is the whole point of Jump with Sarah, is to be able to do something like that. But if you don't have that rebounder, let's talk about your options. So I have, and I realize you can't see it, so I'll move it back a little bit. So I have my step right here from Step Aerobics. It's just flat on the floor. So thinking about one thing you could do if you have a step or a bench or anything, you can just step up and down and not into your trampoline because it wouldn't be there. Or do knee lifts or ham curls. Again, you're just getting that blood flowing, and it's light interval work. Or if you don't have a step, that's fine. You can step touch, side to side, like we do in our warm-ups. You can do that double step touch. You can just tap out side to side. You can march in place. You can do those half jacks. You all know I love me a half jack. Anything that you think is going to be good for you, you can go ahead and do that. So the idea is to gently lift the heart rate. So pick your favorite cardio of choice. Okay, so the good news is all the lower body moves we're going to be doing in this first series of classes, you don't need the rebounder. You can do all of them on the floor, but as a reminder, if you're doing them on the floor, you're probably going to need to move deeper into the move. So I'll just give you a quick example as a reminder. So if I'm here in hip distance parallel on the rebounder, sitting up, sliding down the wall, I'm not very deep in this move. I'm at the top and I'm already shaking. So you're going to see me demoing and I'm going to be up a little bit higher. And that's, again, because of the unstable surface of the rebounder. So if you're on the floor doing the same thing, I'll just turn on profile for fun. So here in that parallel, so maybe here's where I am in the rebounder. But for you to get that same amount of work, you're probably going to want to slide down a little bit deeper. So it's just something to think about is, okay, maybe I need to slide down a little bit more. Same thing with the glute moves. So again, the cues are the same, the weight's in the same place on your foot. But if I'm going to be maybe doing a seesaw, this is as far as I'll be able to go. But you, if you've got that strength and flexibility, can go a little bit deeper in the move. The other option, you can do our set of weights on the rebounder. We'll do middle shoulder, front shoulder, biceps, back shoulder, triceps. These are similar moves to what you've seen. Again, on the rebounder, we're going to go pretty light. You can choose to stay light, or you can go a little bit heavier. So I'll be using my 2s, but you could use 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, because again, you don't have that unstable surface. Let's talk about the 2 upper body moves that you will need to modify. The first of those is push-ups. So as I said before, this is a jump sport, and the handle for this is weight bearing. Many rebounders have handles, but they're just for balance. They can't take your full body weight. So I need to make sure that you're using a trampoline that you can put your full body weight on. So if it's not a jump sport, with a jump sport handle, then I would say you need to check with your manufacturer and make sure that that's supported. So when we're doing our push-ups, we do lots of push-ups in Bar with Sarah. So for push-ups on the rebounder, we're going to step all the way back and have a nice wide grip and go down and up. I know my bar creaks a little bit, but it's nice and sturdy, and up. Okay, so this bar can take my full body weight. That's not a problem. If you don't have a rebounder or you don't have a bar that can take your full weight, let's talk about a few options. So if you have a different rebounder, a different option than what we normally do, a slightly elevated option could be doing a push-up on the trampoline. So you can, it's got to be a little bit narrow grip, at least for me. So you can just go down and down and up and up. Ooh, that's really, really hard. So maybe you need to step it back, come down on the knees. That form isn't quite as great. So if you can't do it on your feet, I would probably step off the rebounder. Another option, and I don't know if you can really see it, but I've got a big old sofa here. Another option is to find something stable like a table or a counter or the sofa and to do that same elevated push-up. It doesn't look like I'm in alignment, I promise I'm in alignment. So down, down, up and up. One reason I like the elevated push-up is a little bit different than when we're all the way on the floor. Generally, you can do the elevated push-up on your toes. So if you're like me and you do push-ups on the floor on your knees, it's going to give you something different. It's also going to work a little bit more into the lats, to the outer back, not just the chest. So that's another option, is to do an elevated push-up. You can also do the push-up on the floor. So lots of options. Pick a push-up that works for you if you're not able to do it in an elevated way. Okay, that's the push-up. Let's talk about the pull-up. So again, this is a weight-bearing bar. So we can do a pull-up on the bar. So I'll take a nice wide grip. I'm gonna shimmy forward. My feet are zipped up. Head in line with the spine, lift the hips, and then pull up and down. I'm gonna go easy because we're gonna be in a lot of those next week. So that's a great that's a great kind of modification on the pull-up if you're like me and you struggle doing full pull-ups. So what are some modifications? Maybe you have a pull-up bar. That's great. You can just go do pull-ups on that bar. But I find for a lot of people that come to my classes, that's difficult for them. And so they might be trying to build strength. So there's a way that you can modify with weights. So I'll take my 6s here. And again, when we're doing that pull-up, it's a nice wide grip. So what we can do is just a wide grip lat pull down. So feet, hip distance parallel, knees soft like always. And down, up and up, down and down, up and up. I would recommend you lift heavier for this. 2s, 3s, unless you're just starting to work out, that's not going to mimic what we're doing here on the bar, which is not your full body weight because your feet are down, but a lot of your body weight. So going to profile, thinking about natural curve of the spine, not tucked, not super untucked, so just natural. And when I'm pushing up, again, you can see that the weights are in front of my body a little bit and pulling back. That elbow is going to pull in. So again, that's going to activate the lat, that outer back. We get a lot of lat work in Jump with Sarah, which we don't necessarily get as much in our regular bar classes. Okay, so those are the main modifications for upper body: elevated push-ups and a pull down instead of a pull up, lat pull down instead of a lat pull up. The last set of modifications is going to be for core work. And there are a couple different things that we'll be doing. So I'm going to do the easier one first, and that's planks. So if you have any rebounder, the good news is you can do a plank. There's lots of different options. So sometimes we'll do a full plank. And I want you to think about when you're in a plank on a rebounder, you're not pushing forward, but you're pushing down. So again, all 5 fingers spread out, wide starfish hands, really thinking about the heel of the hand connecting. And as you do that, I can already feel my core has to really stabilize. So a full plank, if you're working up to it, a knee plank. But again, I would really encourage you to try a full plank and take breaks. The one we'll be doing in our first class is going to be a forearm plank. So my forearms are in an 11 and I'm holding, and then we're going to add the bounce. Whew. Deep core. So again, if you have any rebounder, you can do the plank. Any sort of unstable surface. Another option could be, it's right off camera, I'm going to grab it, is the BOSU. I've been meaning to do a BOSU workout. I know you might not have one. Have them in the gym where I normally teach. I love the BOSU. It's one of my favorite things to add to any workout. So another thing you could do is put that BOSU ball side down and come into that plank, because again, it has a little bit of instability. You can circle it, you can wobble it, you can do different things to bring that instability to you. So that's really, really cool. It's possible that you don't have a rebounder, that you don't have a BOSU or balance disc or anything that's going to add instability. And that's okay. You can just do the plank on the floor. We do tons of planks. You can do the elbow plank. You can do the full plank. To add motion, you can just add, especially in that elbow plank, you can add that saw. So we've done this before, but just as a reminder, sawing in that plank. Again, that motion, it's not quite the same as instability, but it's close. And that's the thing. I'm a pragmatist. I want you to have a great workout, and however you get there is how you get there. And I think that's great. Okay, so that's the easiest one to modify. We're also going to do a lot of seated core work. So in neutral abs. So I'm sitting on the edge of the trampoline. I'm going to take those arms up, maybe a slightly wider grip. Inhale, exhale. My spine is neutral. So I'm not thrusting the chest. And more importantly, I'm not collapsing in. So I want to just stay here in neutral. So for example, pushing legs in and out, tapping our toes. My favorite's the can. Need to readjust. Whew. So turning, extending, turning, extending. So these are super fun things to do, but again, we need to modify those if we don't have a rebounder. So let's talk through some of those modifications. The closest modification on the ground is going to probably be curl to get you into that position. So as a reminder, curl, we're sitting up nice and tall. Our fingers come under our knees, our thumbs wrap around the top. We start to curl the spine, and you lift up for the chicken arms. And then as you come down, you can walk those feet closer. So here I am. This is a really good curl for me. Whew. So just curling up is going to be a very similar position. If you're able to lift the feet, this is more kind of a modified boat. You're not leaning way back. You're staying up. Maybe you're dipping the toes. So those are some good modifications, or to be in curl. When we do can, that's really targeting the obliques. So again, coming back to curl, what we can do is roll down, and we can take the arms across. Whew, that's very oblique. Or just do classic obliques. So coming all the way down, not hitting the rebounder, and just doing like a bicycle, extending really long. So again, those are all modifications that you could use. If you have the BOSU, you can also kind of simulate that type of instability. So you would take the BOSU, and this time you would flip it up so your bubble is up. Squish, squeak. So sitting up nice and tall, I can curl back. So if you hopefully can see my abs, my spine is in more of a neutral. So I'm not super extended, I'm not super tucked. So you could do this, you could even reach across. You can even kind of modify can on a BOSU. So you can sit back, and you can roll, extend. Oh, this is harder. This is harder. Oh my gosh, it's so much instability in the abs. So have I done a good enough commercial for the BOSU yet? I love this thing. So that's another option as well. Here's the thing. I'm giving you tons of options, but it's your workout, and you need to decide what's going to make it best for you. I try to be inclusive as possible. We're doing the best that we can in these wild times. We don't necessarily have all the equipment that we want. So I get really excited about rebounding, which is why I'm combining it with bar, which is why I went to get certified to teach this to y'all. And I know you might not have it. So again, I want my workouts to be inclusive. If you don't have a rebounder, it's okay. You've got plenty of modifications. Come and try the basic Jump with Sarah classes. See what you think. And then we'll progress from there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you next Thursday, the 21st at 5 p.m. Pacific for our first live workout. And again, in the description below, you'll see links to the other two tutorials that I filmed that show you all the basic setup, how to bounce safely, how to make moves harder and easier on the rebounder. And I can promise you now, I'm going to be a lot more out of breath when I teach rebounding, but I think we're going to have a lot of fun. So thanks again for tuning in today to Bar with Sarah, Jump with Sarah tutorial number 3. Thanks everyone. Bye.